Hey guys, today we have David Hummell, U.S. Naval Academy class of 2000. David spent over 16 years at J&J, working in both med device and pharma. And David, tell me, when you first discovered CareerNerds, what was your situation, and maybe explain what your goals were at the time?
Yeah, Tom, absolutely. So I've been with J&J, as you mentioned, 16 and a half years, and it had been a great run, worked across various business units and different leadership roles and showed a track of career progression. But it was really in my heart and in my mind to do something with a much smaller organization, something a little bit more agile, more growth oriented, having an opportunity to play a bigger role in that organization to shape and define the strategy going forward. And that's really what I was looking for when I started this journey with you months ago.
So what were your challenges after working at J&J and really exploring the opportunities outside of that company?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, it was having a strong external network. Like a lot of folks who work at the same company for some time, you have a strong internal network, strong internal brand equity, but you really don't have that external network. Unless you've stayed in touch perhaps with people that worked at J&J for some time and then left. So that was one of the challenges I had. And I think the second is really the confidence to make that transition, understanding and appreciating all that you've learned and all the experience and development that you've had at a company like J&J, and whether or not that would fully transfer to the next role. So I think just that network and that confidence were two of the biggest challenges or obstacles.
So you wanted to get a new job. You wanted to leave a big company after over 16 years. How did the CareerNerds process help you make that transition?
First and foremost, it's just the process itself and having you as a partner along this journey, having that accountability, someone that you're having routine touch points with, and they're checking in and checking on your progress. That's the first thing. The second thing is through LinkedIn to establish that networking community and the process by which to establish that networking community, and then updating things like your LinkedIn profile to better tell your story about your career and your professional journey. I think those three components were most beneficial from this and from the process. As it regards, with networking, through those conversations that I was able to have with C-level leaders across med tech and biopharmaceuticals and healthcare in general, it was really getting some confidence in my ability to transfer and translate the things I've done at J&J to a smaller company, a more growth-oriented or agile company. With that confidence, it was also giving me the opportunity to really craft and shape what the ideal next job is or what the ideal next company is. Because when you start off, you say, hey, I want to do something on a smaller scale with a smaller company. Well, what size company? What stage is that company in that you desire to go to? What space are they in within healthcare? And then, by the way, what's the ideal role for you? So all of those things through those conversations, I was able to craft and shape really what that ideal next job would be.
Yeah, so you talked about the personal brand and the LinkedIn profile. What changes did you see when your LinkedIn profile really represented the high value that you represented to a company?
Yeah, a lot of more frequent reach outs on behalf of companies, on behalf of recruiters, and on behalf of other individuals looking to expand their network. That went through the roof. And as you know, in LinkedIn, you can track the number of connections that you get, or at least views that you get on a weekly basis. And I saw that number go up a tremendous amount just in the initial weeks of this process.
What did people say to you when they saw your CareerNerds branded LinkedIn profile?
Yeah, you get the response, hey, very strong background, love your diverse experiences. And I'm thinking, yeah, but it's the same person. It's just a different profile with some different words that really encapsulated, some of my accomplishments and some of my experiences in a different way. Very succinctly, it's not a novel. It's all right there in bullet point format where people can go and understand, okay, what has this person done? What is this person about? And what is this person potentially capable of doing in the next role? And I think you can take that away from the profile itself.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got a great profile, David. You talk about this a lot, that the CareerNerds process helped give you confidence in reaching out to people and really expanding your network. Can you talk about how the process helped you gain more confidence?
Yeah, well, I loved looking at the experience and the backgrounds of some of the people I was connecting with. And you would see in their background what their inflection point was. They may have worked for a large company for some years, and they went to a smaller but mid-sized company, and then they were there for maybe 4 or 5 years, and then they would go to even a smaller company as a founder, as a CEO. And that understanding of their journey and of their progression, and hearing why they made those decisions, what was important to them throughout the decision, and hearing kind of both sides of the coin. It wasn't just, oh, it's great, you're going to love it, it's going to be perfect. Hearing that, hey, that sometimes it's not so great, and this is what you could potentially miss out on. But these are the benefits, and it just gave you an an understanding and again, clear perspective as, you know what, I can align to that. I can appreciate why they made those decisions. It's similar to why I'm looking to make my decision. And you know what, I'm not crazy for leaving a great company after 16 years. There's other people who've done it. They've done it very well, and they have a lot to show for it. You know, that was key to building that confidence.
So would you say that like also the number of high quality networking calls you had led to increased confidence in the networking process?
Absolutely. And it was through those engagements, again, not only the confidence, but in my own mind, shaping, okay, what do I believe the next ideal job or company is for me? And how can I learn from some of the pitfalls, if you will, that some of these now mentors fell into, and some of the insights and perspective, and they provided that. It was really important.
So what job did you end up getting? And tell us about the company and where you landed.
So I am the vice president of digital sales for a company called CareerNerds. It's headquartered in South San Francisco, California. CareerNerds is focused and totally committed to the entire transplant ecosystem, from initial referral, wait list management, all the way through post-transplant laboratory surveillance. About 630 people in the company. They hired 300 people last year, so obviously growing. They do about $280 million in revenue. It is something that they call the company the Village. And that's something I think is really cool, because it means that it's a close-knit, fully committed organization that's not, focused on tons of things. It's just focused on the transplant space. And that aligned with the company that I wanted to join. I love the culture. I love their commitment and their passion. And I also love the innovative approach they have to the transplant space. And they really live this through a lot of acquisitions, specifically to the digital business, which is what I'm in charge of. So it's constantly changing, constantly evolving. And my wife often says, she's like, man, I think you found a company that moves at the pace that you move at. And that's really cool, because the ability to enact change quickly and really, deliver and evolve a business is something we all crave as leaders. And this opportunity really gives me that chance.
That's awesome. It sounds like it's exactly the right kind of job you were looking for as your next step, right?
It is. And I'm able to work remotely, which was important. Travel is about the same as it was before. I know that when people think about leaving their current job after being there for some time, there's concerns about pay, benefits, all the extra benefits that you may have from 401k and sometimes even pension. There's been no drop off whatsoever in any of that. It's been an uptick, which has been really, really gratifying as well.
So what would you say, David, to someone who's like on the fence, considering CareerNerds coaching to help them make the next career move?
So for someone considering CareerNerds, I would say absolutely go for it. You have that accountability partner in Tom along every step of the journey. A tremendous framework and process for establishing those external networks, and then a process for engaging those individuals in your networks to learn more about their specific career journey and how it relates to yours, ultimately helping you to shape and craft your ideal next job. I could not have done any of this without that approach. It would have been me sitting behind a computer, applying for jobs via LinkedIn, going off into the ether and just maybe hoping and crossing my fingers that I would hear back. And this is just a much more proactive and expeditious approach to this process that I would have never even known about, nor would I have had the confidence to pursue it in the way that I did.